What's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bronx Muchachos podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we got the boys with us. We got Danny.
What's good, everybody?
Alex.
Hello.
And Dave.
What up, everybody?
Yeah, all right, everyone. You guys all know the drill. Rate, subscribe, review, like. Hit us up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Odyssey, Amazon, any place you get your podcasts. And for everyone who's watching, hit that like button on the bottom of the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to the 5 Reasons Podcast Network on YouTube. All right. Just to let everyone know, this first segment is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to browse, find, and buy all your tickets for all concerts and sporting events. Spring training starting right around the corner. Get your tickets through SeatGeek. Regular season's coming around the corner. Step your game up. Get through SeatGeek. Remember, use our promotional code Bronx Muchachos, all capital letters, to get your discount on your first order. Boys, last week we had a good one, but there's a lot of things been going on in spring training. We got a nice third base little fight going on right now between DJ and JD. Shortstop is up for grabs as well. IKF, Peraza, possibly Volpe. Judge might be moving to left field. We got a wild horse coming out of for a starting pitcher in Sevy. We got a lot of things. We can touch on. No, Dave, I'll swing it to you. What do you want to go with first? I know. I think you. I know you want to go down the third base line. So let's go down the third base line with you.
Well, I don't even really think it's even a competition, really. I mean, I like DJ. I like DJ at third. I mean, Donaldson is aging out. He's going to be 38 this year. I mean, he's only 2 years older than me, so yeah, saying that it's old is kind of messed up. But for baseball terms, he's old. And with DJ being back fully healthy, it's going to be a platoon situation. I think DJ takes more of the reps than Josh Donaldson does. But in order for me to change my opinion about Donaldson, he's going to have to really show me something in spring training and have it carry over into the first few months of the season to make a believer out of me. Because there'd be nothing more that I'd like to see, the version of Josh Donaldson when he was in Oakland before he went to Toronto. I'd love to see that this year. But, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. That shoulder was barking last year. And we'll see if that's fully healed and recovered and see if it poses a problem going into this season. That's my thoughts on third base.
Danny, what about you? You got anything? You got anything to add? Got anything different from that, or you still with him on saying it's DJ?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Boone's going to work out the amount of bats for everybody. Obviously, DJ is going to be at the top of the lineup every day, whether it's at third, second, or first. And you're still going to expect anywhere from 400 or 500 at bats, depending on if he's healthy. So Donaldson's still going to get a bunch of reps. We still have IKF on this team. So it's going to be interesting to see where the chips finally fall and who gets the lion's share of at bats at third specifically. So it's going to be DJ, it's going to be Donaldson, it's going to be IKF. It's going to be a 3-headed man at this point in time.
What about you, Alex? What do you think?
Yeah. For Dave to think that we're hoping to get Oakland Josh Donaldson, that's 14? That's a long time ago. I don't see Father Time letting that one happen. So yeah, it's basically who's not hurting, who's ready for the day, and who's not ready for the day. Is it, oh my gosh, are we putting IKF there because we're putting DJs over here and Josh is out, or I don't know. Who knows? It's going to be musical chairs over there like it always is, at least for the past year.
All right. Well, I got a number for you guys to remember, which is 21, as in $21 million. And that's what Josh Donaldson's owed. And I can't see $21 million being put on the bench for extended periods of time. That's not the Yankee way. So as much as we're talking, I think that with the amount of infielders we have, I think someone's going to go during spring training.
I hope.
I don't think that there's going to be a taker for Donaldson. I think that Donaldson will get the lion's share of third base this year, unless he really craps the bed and then they just DFA him, say May, June time. They cut your bait, cut your losses at that point, and just move on at that point. But I think in the beginning of the year, he's going to get most of the time at third base.
Okay.
So that's just me, and I can't see them sitting $21 million on the bench.
Like I see the point. Like him in the outfield, he is a Golden Glove fielder. I mean, not outfield, but fielder. Sorry, but like his bat. That's I think our fear. I think that's everyone's fear is he going to be out there and then just swinging for mosquitoes? That's it. Like that's I think our fear. I don't know.
So I got to follow up to this. Mark, you're saying you don't see 21 million getting benched. May I remind you that Alex Rodriguez got benched in his last year in the Bronx for a while. He got benched for Chase Headley, if my memory serves me right. And another thing that this all comes down to is matchups. It's all going to matter who is starting the game out on the mound for the opposing team, which is going to dictate the lineup, which the nerds upstairs are going to have a lot of input in and probably get their way. So that's ultimately what it boils down to is matchup and numbers.
My retort to you, Dave, is that Alex Rodriguez got benched when he wasn't performing in the last year before, and then they released him.
But it's the same thing with Donaldson.
No, but
I'm saying grab some pine.
I don't think they're going to give. I think they're going to give him every opportunity to. And besides, at that point, you have to remember, Alex Rodriguez wasn't even playing third base. He was DHing. He came back from the suspension. He DH'd. He was a full-time DH. He was not playing the field at all. So it's it's kind of apples to oranges at that point. But I get what you're saying, Dave. But when you have JD and DJ going for third, you have two guys that can still play the field. And as Alex said before, it's all about hitting. I think that Donaldson gets the lion's share in the beginning to see if his bat actually comes back. If last year was the fluke, if it was, as everyone said, was all the injuries just kind of piled up on him and he couldn't perform. If he still is batting under the Mendoza line or right near the Mendoza line and still pimping, balls that are hitting the wall,
sack flies,
balls going off the wall, things like that,
signals.
Then it's time. Then it's time to DFA him. So,
sorry, I'm gonna go back to the bench.
Yeah,
sorry.
Hold on a minute. If they end up DFAing him and not Aaron Hicks, we got a problem. Because you're saying you won't eat 30 million, but
we still got 2 years left of Aaron Hicks. But if the Yankees want to go anywhere, like deep into the playoffs, get past the Astros, they need Donaldson to be a dude. We need to lengthen this lineup. So I'm hoping for a bounce back season for Donaldson. I mean, Boone said we'll be crazy to not think that he'd bounce back. I'm not too sure how much I trust Boone on that. I don't watch Donaldson every day. I don't watch his bat speed. I mean, he looks washed to me, but who am I, right? Aaron Boone thinks highly of him. The Yankees think highly of him, but I think that's just to keep up his trade value and say like, hey, we're spending $21 million for a reason. We'll see, but if the Yankees plan on going anywhere, we need Donaldson to step up because just having 5 guys in our lineup be threats is not enough. It's just not enough.
True.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% right about that. But that also can kind of lead us into let's stay on the left side of the field altogether, but let's move out to the left field instead. Now we just talked about Aaron Hicks. One of the big things that's coming out of spring training right now is that Judge said that he'll move over to left field for whenever Boone needs him to move over there. You still got Oswaldo Cabrera that can roam around. Who's the left fielder? Do they do they need to go out and make the trade for a left fielder? Because this opens up a whole nother line of communication. We're all sitting there talking about going for, Brian Reynolds. There was talks about Max Kepler. Do we need the left fielder if Judge is going to slot over there for a while? If he takes, say, if Judge goes, say, 80 games in left field, do we need to get an everyday left fielder? And just throw numbers out there.
Yeah. First off, I don't think he's going to play 80 games in left. I think there's going to be certain situations where at Yankee Stadium you're going to see. Well, at Yankee Stadium with the left-hander on the mound, you'll see Giancarlo in right, you'll see Judge in left, and you'll see Donaldson DHing, and you'll have that rotating third base. I kind of did this exercise the other day, just playing around with it and seeing the lineup. And if you want to get the most right-handed bats into the lineup against a left-handed pitcher at Yankee Stadium, that's the time to do it. Because I think that's probably going to be one of the few places. Anytime there's a short right field or a left field, at Fenway, Giancarlo's going to play left. Right? In Houston, Giancarlo's going to play left. And Yankee Stadium, it makes the most sense to put him in right field and have Judge be the more athletic person in left, especially against left-handed pitching. So we'll see how that goes. But I really don't see 80 games from Judge in left because it's not going to be happening on the road. And if it does, it'll be in very specific places.
I could see it happening on the road. I do. The season is a lot more even this year. That it's like everyone's going to be playing everybody. So there are going to be opportunities for the team to have Judge over left and Giancarlo in right playing a lot more often because there are fields that the dimensions do work out for that. And I mean, you got the two power bats out there like that they could hit bombs anywhere. Let's be real. Like I wouldn't mind it, but 80, yeah, probably. But will it be close in the 80 range? I could see in the 80 range. I'm not saying it's going to go to 80, but I could see like maybe 70, the 70, 80 area if it were to happen. But if it doesn't happen, I mean, it's all because injuries or something like that happen like that, like knock on wood. But if there's no injuries and everything like that and everything's going great, like the numbers show that if Giancarlo is more on the field, him on bat actually works better. And if he's batting better, that's better for the Yankees all around. Then we know that.
Yeah, I agree. Like Danny was saying, the more athletic you need someone to be in left field, Judge is going to be there over Stanton. I think, honestly, because of age being a factor, Giancarlo turns, 34 this November? You might see this year and next year probably be the last 2 years you see him in the field at any point and become a full-time DH. With the left field thing, they can split reps between Judge Hicks and Oswaldo Cabrera. And if something happens and someone needs to get DFA'd, then you just pull the trigger on Dominguez a little bit early and bring him up. Problem solved. I mean, you're holding on to these prospects for a reason. Use them. Don't just hold on to them and then you're ended up in another Estevan Florial situation. So that's my thoughts on it. They don't need to go out and trade for anybody. They got in-house solutions already. It's just a matter of when they use those in-house solutions and how they use them.
And speaking of Florial, we haven't even touched upon him about he could theoretically speaking be somebody out in left field. Him, Elijah Dunham. Elijah Dunham is a sleeper. Is my sleeper pick, man. He's that blue collar kind of guy that you kind of need on your team. The guy that does all the dirty work that'll take care of that stuff. I think everyone kind of looking over him is not something that we should be doing as a fan base. But I still think that Stanton's going in. This is going to be his third. He's going to be 33 this season. So this is the age 33 season. So I mean,
yeah, he turned 33 in November.
Yeah. So he's got 2 years. He's got 2 years on Judge. So I mean. Yeah, so what I'm saying is he's got 2 years on Judge. So as much as we're talking about Stanton needing to not play the field anytime soon, Judge is coming around that corner as well. He's gonna be in the. He's 31. Judge is 31. Remember that at the start of this 9-year deal, he's 31 years old. So at some point we're going to have to be looking at him and saying, how long is that big body going to be able to take the beating out in the outfield? So, but I think that outfield wise, I think, let me swing it this way, Danny. We're having this conversation. Everyone kind of wanted to have this conversation. Who do you believe is the Yankees? Let me put it in two questions. One, who do you think the best 3 outfielders are for the Yankees? And then the follow up is, if those aren't going to be your opening day outfielders, who is your opening day outfield?
We need Aaron Hicks to have a really good spring. We need Aaron Hicks to take over and grab left field by the horns and show everybody that that's his job. I would be rooting for that, just based on the contract, just based on the length of time that he spent in the organization, and this is a time to prove that he's a guy. So I would like to see Hicks, Bader, Judge, left to right. That's what I would like to see. Will that happen? I don't know. I don't know. It really depends on the spring. Like Cabrera could be like, hey, a bull out of the china shop and say, I'm grabbing this spot, and at least on opening day. I mean, everybody gets a bunch of hoopla on opening day, but so many things change between what's today, February 23rd, to March 31st. Like so many things could change. There could be a trade. There could be injury. But Hicks, Bader, Judge, that'll put us in the best position to win with Giancarlo the DH, at least to start off, and have that rotating throughout the season.
Alex, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I like what he's saying, but I cannot put hope in Hicks. Sorry, I just can't put the hope in it. I would like to, but it's not going to. So I agree with the Bader. I agree with the Judge. I would put Cabrera. Sorry. I mean, I would let him try out there and see what he has to do, especially now with the season, getting a real season into it to actually try. I wouldn't mind him getting his opportunity. And if that doesn't work out in a month or two or whatever, seeing what's going on, break glass, start moving things, shifting people around and seeing what happens. But give him a true opportunity and see what happens. That's my opinion.
What about you, Davey boy?
Dave.
We'll come back to Dave. I think he's got a little technical issues over there. For me, I'll jump in and then I'll swing it back to Dave. So, I think 2 of the 3 are no brainers. Bader and Judge are the no brainers. I want to believe in Danny's point of view of Aaron Hicks needs to lock that down. I think that it's a whole nother situation right there if he can, because I think that he's kind of, I think he needs a mea culpa moment where he needs to kind of hat in hand and kind of get back in the good graces, not only of the team, but with everybody. As for Alex's point with Cabrera, I think that Cabrera's best spot is not to have a solidified position. I think that having him roam all over the place and playing all those positions, he can get 300 plus at bats doing that, filling in for everybody and being a high quality player, playing third, second, short, right field, left field, possibly center field, possibly first base. Heck, he won't even want to get a catcher's mitt and learn catcher. I think that if we're going to go down the road of giving someone a chance, because this one doesn't have any more options down the minors, see what Florial's got. If it's going to be apples to apples, and let him and Hicks kind of vie for that spot. If Florial, Florial's got a better glove than Hicks, you got a better arm, and if their offense is going to be pretty much equal, then why not just have Florial?
But then we play the Florial game last season. Like
for what, 3 games? 3 games. That's all it was. 3 games. They never give him a shot. They never give him a legitimate shot ever. Even the season before, it was 3. He was 10 games or something like that. He got 10 at bats and he got 3 hits. It was a 300 hitter, and they never give him a shot. So why not? He's got no more options. Why not? They have to do something with him now. It's either he's on the bench or he's cut. So let it be a real thing. Let him really give it a whirl, and then see what happens.
So if we do play the Florial game, how long realistically are you willing to go? A month, 2 months on the Florial game to see?
2 months. I give him less of the time than I give Donaldson. I give Florial mid-May.
So about 2 months.
Yeah, give like 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
Okay, and then we hit glass and break glass. Okay.
Yeah, then you hit the break glass. You pull the ejection cord, and he's
we're at least we're about the same about when to do breaking glass on whoever's in left. So that's good.
You know it's gonna be longer, right?
Yeah, we know, but at least me and Mark know that. Hey, if we're in charge, we got everyone knows 6 to 8 weeks. You didn't produce, we're breaking glass.
We're gonna be talking about this in September. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Danny, remember the conversations we had back in April with IKF? Okay, yeah. I'm sitting there hammering down with you like, yo, this is not right, and you're sitting there telling me, just give him a chance, man. Just give him a chance.
And then we still talked about in September how terrible he was. I was like, yeah, you know what? You were right in April.
Yeah, this year I'm in that area. I'm not on anyone's bandwagon really too much. I would rather give somebody else the hope, because everybody else I'm like, I don't want to give it. I don't want to.
I like the idea of Florial though, but only in theory. I'm not sure what it's going to be in practice, because him against a lefty, do you want him out there every day against a tough lefty? No, I mean, that's why you got Aaron Hicks. That's why you got Cabrera. That's why you got Judge. So it's going to be a rotating door. That left field is just going to be – everyone's really going to get a chance.
Yeah, it could be a platoon.
You're right, but Dave, we haven't got you yet, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not trying to see another season of let's play the game of let's see if this works. Clearly, they don't think highly enough of Florial to keep him on the roster. That's evident. I mean, not a knock against him, but he's got 31 career at bats in the major league level with a 0.97 batting average. Well, that was 2022. Overall, he's batting 185 in the major leagues. They obviously don't have a plan for this kid. 1, believe in him. Number 2, and if it comes down to sending Cabrera back to AAA or to keep Florial on the bench, I'm sorry, dude, but I'm leaving Florial in AAA. Like, they should have. The problem with Florial is hold on. Yes, Ken.
He's out of options.
Yes,
that's what I'm trying to say.
He can be left there. Get back to my point. The reason why you have an issue with Florial is because they held on to Brett Gardner for way too damn long. That's the reason why they have a problem with Florial. Is because Florial was supposed to take over in center field when Gardner retired. Well, that didn't happen. And now they're stuck in this position where they have no idea what to do with this kid. And I kind of feel bad for him, you know. And like I said, man, like my outfield, like Hicks would be great if he could turn around because he's a switch hitter. That is lethal in this lineup. Look what happened in the late 90s when you had the 2 switch O'Neill and Posada. That diversified that lineup.
Bernie and Posada.
Yeah, Bernie and Posada. Sorry. And so my opening day outfield is going to be Judge in left, Bader in center, Stanton in right, and probably Donaldson as the DH. That'd be my guess. But I don't want to see another season-long experiment to see. Let's see if this works. No, you should already know what works and what doesn't when you break camp at the end of March.
I like your lineup for the outfield, but I don't see that outfield kicking in until probably early summer that's where I could see them hit. That's
No
I see
idea.
everything else. Everything else I'm seeing like right now is like that early time frame. That's that. Okay, you know what? None of these experiments are working. Let's try to get the big guns up there. That's how I see that one.
I firmly believe against left-handed pitching in Yankee Stadium, you will see Judge in left field, Giancarlo in right, and whomever filling in at third base and in the infield. But if it's against a right-handed pitcher, I really don't see the Yankees going so heavy right-handed lineup. I just don't see it because we saw it 2 years ago where it was just overwhelming how many right-handed bats we had in that lineup, and we were just so easy to pitch to. So left-handed pitching Yankee Stadium or any stadium where the corner and outfield positions are a little bit easier on Giancarlo, you will see that on lineup. But that alignment, but I just opening day I don't see it happening because San Francisco's guy is not is Logan Webb, who's a right-handed pitcher. If it was like Alex Wood, I'd be like, hey, this would be a perfect time to debut it. It doesn't matter if it's opening day or whatnot, but I just don't see it against right-handed pitching.
No, I get you. I hear what you're saying. I'm kind of with Alex a lot on this one, where I think that especially in the early months too, they're not gonna try to put Giancarlo out there, especially with it being cold up north. They're gonna kind of ease him into it. They're not gonna push him hard to be in the field until they have to put him in the field, and that's the early part of the season. Then late May, early June, then you're gonna see him. Then you'll see him being integrated more into the field, being more in right field, playing a little bit of left field when you go to Boston, maybe somewhere else, a couple other spots as well. If push comes to shove, maybe he has to play the field, down in Tampa, play it in Miami, play it somewhere else. I can see him going back to Miami and playing the outfield there, just kind of giving all the fans who remember him give him a little something down there.
He played it that year that Judge was injured that they went down here in Miami. Yeah. He was in the right field. I remember I bought tickets for that game in hopes of seeing Aaron Judge, and then the injury happens and I'm seeing Giancarlo, and I'm like, well.
Memories right there. Memories.
Nah, the memory was actually when it went over to like the 10th or 11th inning. That was nice.
So I got a question for everybody. This is Harrison Bader's walk year. For the Yankees to kind of take that next level as well, our lineup has always been the biggest issue. Where do we see Harrison Bader fitting in? Do you see him being like a 2020 type of dude? What's your projection for Harrison Bader? And Dave, you look really excited. I'll let you go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see what he does with a full season. I mean, we got a little sample size in September, and then he just mashed in the playoffs in October. I think he, barring any kind of major injury, I would say probably plays between 145, 153 games. Bats 285, 25 home runs, 85 RBIs, and maybe 15 stolen bases, depending on how that plantar fasciitis diagnosis pans out. But that's what I think you're going to see from Harrison Bader this year. And a Gold Glove in center field. That's my prediction.
Mark? If he unfreezes.
Sorry about that. I was looking up his stats on. I was looking up his stats on Baseball Reference, and he kept on hitting the wrong button to get back over here. Harrison Bader, the most games he's ever played is in 2018. He played 108 games when he was 6th in Rookie of the Year. He won his only Gold Glove in 2021 when playing 103 games in the field. This thing for Bader is the health, and the pop's not really there in the bat. I mean, most runs he's had in one season is 2,000. Everything else has been. He had a couple of seasons where he's 12 home runs when he was 24 and 25. 2020 is kind of, you can't give much in 50. Out of 60 games, he played 50 of those games and had 4 home runs. And then the first year when we called up, we got played 31. He got 32 games, and we hit 3 home runs in an abbreviated rookie season. So I think that you can pencil him in for 12 about 15 max home runs. I think 15. I think 15 is where he's at. The stolen bases I think with the stolen bases are going to be the game changer because of the bigger bags. I think he could get 25 plus stolen bases this year. I think that's where he's at. And his average, I think, is going to be, his career average is 245. So I would say stay in that area of hitting 245, 250. Somewhere in that. I mean, the shift is going to play. Not having the shift is going to play might be good for him. I never really saw him as how he hit in all the years in St. Louis, so I can't say the small sample size we had him as a Yankee, but I still think that Harrison Bader staying here for any extended period of time is dependent upon how Jason Dominguez does in Double-A this year. And I think that because Dominguez is going to start in Double-A, I think halfway through the season, there's a good chance he gets bumped to Triple-A. If that's what happens, and Spencer Jones makes it all the way up to Double-A this year, and Everson Pereira makes it to Triple-A this year, I think they're gonna they'll let Bader go, because then they'll see that they have the pieces right there at the doorstep. Because Bader's not going to look for a 1-year deal. He's going to look for a multi-year deal, and
it's going to be a 3 to 4-year deal.
Yeah. So there's no
attendee. Think of that.
Yeah, exact 575, something along those lines. Maybe 3 for 60 or something, or 4 for 60, something in that range. And that doesn't fit into the time frame of the guys that they're bringing up from the minors right now. When they're putting all their eggs in, basically they're putting all their eggs in these guys coming up. So I think Bader really needs to have a off the wall year, and I don't think he's going to have that off the wall year. Then that's nothing against him. It's just what the type of player he is. But he's a high energy guy, and he's going to bring a lot of other indispensable and invaluable things that don't show up on that, or won't always show up on the scorecards. But I think this is kind of the end. I think this possibly is the end of the road for him with us. That's just my opinion.
Alex,
guess we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, he's definitely going to be an individual that's going to be needed, and it's not because of his bat for home runs or anything like that. Because I'm not like looking at his numbers throughout his whole career. It's not like he's ever going like, oh my gosh, hitting 15 home runs a year or anything like that. I see maybe 10 to 12 if it happens, if he does a whole season. And when it comes to stolen bases, I'm not going to say it's going to be 25. Like he's never ever done more than 17. So I'm going to say for him to have an outstanding season, I'm probably going to say maybe he'll hit 20. Just if the Yankees decide to go more aggressive in the base running area and in that position to get inside of the opposing pitcher's heads while he's on base. But I mean, I don't know. Like we're talking about the Yankees here. It's not like they ever go out there like, oh, they haven't been recently in years going like, we're going to go crazy on stolen bases. I mean, that's not something that's been going on. It's like they've been caring more about the bat more than anything else. If you really think about it, it's like we all been preaching care about small ball, but not like they really care about what we think.
Yeah, but Alex right now they have more guys right now that can play small ball. They have even with IKF on the roster, IKF can play small ball. Gleyber can play. Cabrera and Peraza can both play small ball. Bader can play small ball.
But they could have been playing small ball last season. They could have been doing it last season, but they didn't do it. They didn't.
But now they got
care about it.
Yeah, but now they got bigger bases, and they tried last year too.
They did a lot more hit and run last year. There was a lot. Judge had 16 stolen bases. Gleyber had I think it was 12 stolen bases. So there's guys in this lineup that are gonna be more aggressive. And the rule change, this is gonna be 80s baseball. There's gonna be a bunch of stolen bases.
I
With
hope
these
so.
rules is ridiculous.
It would be
Bader's gonna
nice.
have 20 plus stolen bases. Judge is gonna have 15 plus stolen bases. There's a bunch of dudes in Peraza. If Peraza could get consistent ABs and really get the opportunity at short, he's going to get 30 stolen bases at the big league level. But I digress.
Cabrera, too.
But Danny,
I wanna move-
Danny, I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for 1980s Ricky Henderson type going out there stealing every bag out there in the world. I'm all for that. But until I see it, I'm at this juncture in my life right now. I cannot see it right now. Until the season plays out and I'm seeing how the season plays out, then I could make that assumption. But right now, I'm not going to go out there and hope on something that we're not seeing until it happens.
Well, I get what you're saying,
And-
Alex, but
and
what we're trying to
honestly-
say is that we was being pushed forward last year. That it was kind of it had begun. It wasn't.
I agree.
It wasn't
I
shoved.
agree.
It wasn't shoved down everyone's throat, but the baby steps were put in place where it wasn't the traditional traditional baseball of okay, we get a single. Okay, next person gets a single. Okay, we're going station to station. They were actually making the moves to do that. All right, Dave, Dave, you and I were going at the same time. Go for it, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
The last time the Yankees had a major base stealer was when Alfonso Soriano went 40 for 40. You know, before they traded
39 and
Texas. 40. I mean, you got to go back that far to find someone in this organization that stole over 40 bases. You got to go back to 2001, 2002, because it just went by the wayside when George went out and bought Sheffield and all these other guys that can just bomb home runs.
Yeah. Let's get back on track here. Bader. But I agree. And Soriano got the 39 and 42 because he could have hit 40 the last 2 weeks of the season. Anyway.
You're gonna really bring up one. Come on, bro. Get out of here.
It wasn't a 40-40 season anyway.
All right. Whatever.
With Bader, when it comes to Zips and his projection, that they project him to – Zips projects him to have the best season out of everybody else compared to like Steamers and Bad X and all that. And this is according to Fangraphs. So 4.6 WAR, right? 111 runs created plus, which will make him 11% better than everybody else in the big leagues. 250 batting average, 319 on base, 419 slug. Okay, with 18 homers and 18 stolen bases. I think that'll be the absolute top tier of Harrison Bader. And 17.5 WAR, not WAR, but for his defensive rating, 17.5, which would be really good. So
they said that his stolen bases are 18.
Homers and stolen bases 18. And this is the absolute top of the projection when it comes to Bader. So I think we should temper our expectations. I put this poll out on Twitter, like, do we think Bader's going to hit 20? I think we'll be hard-pressed to see 20 home runs from Harrison Bader. I know being at home, being a Yankee, playing in center field, all those things are super motivating factors.
They also played 3 games in Colorado.
He'll hit 6 homers there and bring a season total of 21. But
they do play 3 games in Denver.
But I really don't see Harrison Bader being more than just a bottom of the order type of bat. I hope he plays himself to the point where it's like, hey, maybe we could put Bader at the top and move DJ down. Because Boone loves to move. He wants DJ out of that leadoff spot. He wants to move him down. If Bader could have a great season and show like, hey, I'm more than just a 250 hitter and I could get on base at a pretty decent clip, then you can see him in that leadoff spot and kind of change the dynamic of the lineup. But I don't see that happening.
Well, he'll definitely be higher than Donaldson in the lineup.
I mean, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves with starting lineup projections, but I wouldn't mind seeing one of the 2 combinations, either DJ or Bader 1 and 2, followed by Rizzo, Judge, Stanton. GT.
I hate that so much.
That's how
I hate
do
those
it.
old school lineups.
Oh, you hate old school lineups, but we're gonna get old school baseball.
Wait. You hate the old school lineup, but say the two in front of Rizzo get on base and Rizzo comes up and puts one into the bleacher creatures. Then are you going to be upset? Because then it's a 3-0 game at that point.
The first two guys have to
Just
get
saying.
on anyway. That's the thing. The
They're
first two guys
contact
have to get on.
hitters.
I
You
love
put
it. I
two
love it, Danny.
contact hitters at the top of the lineup.
You hate
Thanks, man.
1980s
Hold on,
lineup.
wait. I'm gonna let's reel this back in. Let's reel this back into the Bader conversation for a second.
It kind of ties in a little bit.
Danny was bringing a point up there before about. And I'm sorry, Dave, when you were saying this before about he goes to Colorado, he can hit home runs. Let's tie this in somewhere else. There's the next free agency. The people are coming in free agents. Machado's probably main guy along with Shohei Ohtani. Those are probably your two biggest ones, right?
It ain't happening, bro.
You don't think what?
No.
You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead of me. I'm not going down. I'm not playing that game of them coming to the Yankees. What I'm trying to say is there is a probably remember MLB Rawlings is owned by MLB and they turn around and they play around with baseballs all the time. There's been facts that there was 3 different baseballs used last year. 3 different.
I found the picture. One looked like a softball.
Exactly, and it's all about laces on the ball. It's all about how the interior core is, how loose it is, and that all depends on who's on the mound, what teams are playing, and when they're playing. If it's a primetime game, and you got say like Yankees and Red Sox, they're going to use a tightly wound ball to have more runs going there to get everyone attention. If you're going to have like the White Sox or the Royals and Milwaukee playing, they don't care. That's going to be a softball that's going to be out there, and there's not going to be any runs. What I'm saying is there's going to be a chance where the baseballs are also going to come into play where we were sitting there going, all these home runs were going out through the season, and then all of a sudden this game they're not going anywhere, and that has to be factored into the equation as well, is what I was trying to say. And usually that comes in big when you have a certain amount. Your free agent class is a certain class. If you have big boppers coming out there, they try to deflate the numbers for the bopper so that the owners aren't going to have to pay that much money. If it was the pitchers there was a big free agency for the pitchers, the balls were going to be a little bit more wound up, so their ERAs get inflated a little bit more. They don't go out help. Baseball's not going to help the pitchers. They're not going to help the batters trying to get their money. So that's what I'm trying to say.
I know where you're going with this, but it didn't stop, Carlos Correa from getting big money. It didn't stop Jacob deGrom from getting big money. These guys, like Correa had a very low offensive producing year, and he still almost got $300 million. So,
well, he did twice. It just didn't sign.
Yeah, I mean, he agreed to what 31 years and $895 million or something stupid this offseason, but I don't. And hopefully, with everybody playing everybody this year, they stop messing with the baseball. Please, MLB, stop messing with the baseball. Because that would be that shit. You're messing with the fabric of the game. Like you threw Pete Rose out of baseball for betting on his team to win, and now you're manipulating the baseball to change, money lines and to keep players from getting their maximum amount of money. It's just bad for business, man. Pick one and stick with it.
Okay. I posed this question earlier to the group, and I think it's important to discuss just so we could have a better context of who the Yankees are going to compete against. In the American League East, who has the best outfield? And I'll go round table. Dave, we'll start with you.
I mean, I'm going to go with the Yankees, but that's just because I'm biased. But I would say the Yankees are 1A and Toronto is 1B. I think both outfields are very comparative to each other now with the addition of Kiermaier and Varsho and who they got playing in right. I forget.
Springer and right.
But Springer.
They moved
That's right.
Springer over to the right.
I think both of those outfields are very now. If Kiermaier can stay healthy, that's the big question up in Toronto. But I think both outfields are very similar to each other in the amount of offense, defensive, and defensive capability.
Alex.
Really do like our outfield, but I feel like the core of our outfield's a little old. Sadly, I do feel it's a little bit it's aging. So I'm one person that's looking for youth, so I will say Toronto then, just because of the fact that I like youth over age.
Well, I'm gonna say something here. So Kiermaier's 32, and he's hurt 95% of the year.
Mm-hmm.
George Springer is going into his age 32, 33 season, and they're moving him from center to right for a reason. Okay,
and he's injury prone.
So,
he couldn't even stay on the field.
So they got Varsho.
Since he signed that deal, he couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah, and playing on the turf. Playing on the turf is really tough in Toronto. Now they got Varsho, who's 26, who's a stud, who I wish we got, but he's probably the youngest guy out of there. And
am I gonna say, like, I'm just saying, looks, yes. At the end of the day, I feel I like our older team over them, no matter what.
Well, I mean, Bader's still relatively young. He's 28, and then our left field options
we're already here talking about that. This is going to probably be where Bader's going to end anyway.
Well, at least with us, but it's not due to age.
Yeah, Bader not being in the long term future has nothing to do with his age or anything like that. It has to do with the fact that of what we've invested in, what the team has invested in to be brought up. Mm-hmm. When you put $5.1 million on an international free agents, the highest at the time, you're gonna want a little return on your value. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the type of thing I'm saying. Danny, you did pose this question to all of us, and my question still comes down to is, it all depends on who our left fielder is. Because if you want to take it position by position, right field, Judge playing right field, he, especially after last year, he wins out right field over Toronto all day long. I still think it's a 50-50 shot in center field, because Kiermaier is not just a Gold Glover; he's a Platinum Glove winner, and he's proven in the past that he can track down every fly ball out there, and he can change the game defensively, and he's got a cannon of an arm as well. And that holds up pretty well against Bader and Bader's one Gold Glove. Left field is where it's the difference, and it depends on who we have in left field. I mean, Varsho looks like he's going to be legit. I mean, to give up Gabby Marino down to Arizona for Dustin Varsho, Toronto believes in him. So I think that because we're going to have a platoon out in left field, that no matter what happens, when like, I don't know, Dave, I don't think you would ever see these, or Alex too, but Danny, you would remember this. The New York Post, they used to go position by position, especially in like the big games. They said, okay, who has the edge? Who's first base, blah, blah, blah. So if we're going to kind of do like the old New York Post way, who has the edge in right field? The Yankees have the edge in right field. Who has the edge in center field? I think it's a push in center field. Who has the edge in left field? Because right now we have a platoon in left field. The edge goes to Toronto because they're going to have someone out there regularly who's good. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I question Varsho at Toronto. Like, how much time is he going to spend in left field compared to how much time is he going to spend behind the plate as a catcher? Because he doesn't
not much.
Both.
Not much at all. Because I don't think I think he's like the emergency catcher, kind of like IKF is the emergency catcher for the Yankees. Yeah. He's not going to be. He's not. I think that passed him by. I think he had some back issues or whatever, and they just kind of said, you know what, you did extremely well in left field. You're just going to be there.
Yeah, he was a Gold Glove finalist in left, so he's a stud, Varsho. And behind the plate, Toronto stacked. Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk. Both of those two dudes are studs. Yeah. So for me, Mark, it's an interesting thing to talk about because when we think about our outfield, we think Giancarlo, we think Judge, we think Bader, we think Hicks, Florial, Cabrera. So our depth in the outfield is a lot better than Toronto's. So we could go the position by position, but I think overall, as an organization, the Yankees win out due to the depth. Varsho will have a better season than every left fielder on the Yankees roster. But I think overall, with the amount of guys that we have that can produce at different positions, especially in the outfield, the Yankees will win that battle out. So I have the Yankees, Toronto, Baltimore, with Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Santander, who's a stud in his own right, falling in that third. With the Rays and the Red Sox kind of lagging behind in fifth, right there in terms of the outfield. But Baltimore and Tampa could kind of go back and forth because they got Margot, they got Rosarena, Jose Siri. So
I was going to say you can't sleep on Tampa's outfield because they always do something weird. Siri they picked off the scrap heap from Houston. Houston got rid of him, and then just as they made their run for the title last year. Rosarena, he's kind of that player where because he came through he came up and started playing so late that I think he's hit his peak and his best years are behind him though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, but I still think it's going to be Yankees Toronto. And it's going to be I feel like we should do this projection for every infield. We're going to do this in the future, so we should definitely rank them in the AL East, and we're going to come down to it at the end of it and kind of make our predictions. But Toronto's going to.
I'm not going to mess up like last year. I'm sorry that I'm not messing up last year. I'm not saying anybody else but Yankees.
We all messed up last year.
I'm just going to say
you guys messed up.
You're the only one who was right, Danny. You're the only one.
I was.
I'm already saying it before you even say it. I'm already going to say
it. I feel like I don't want to be right now. I'm gonna hold it for later. I'm gonna hold on to it because I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm done. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. I'll hold it for our last episode. No.
You'll feel better if you let it out, bro.
Nope, I feel just fine.
Okay.
Oh man.
I mean that was all I got for the questions for the outfield. So, you guys have anything else that you could think of?
No.
All right.
Like I said, I have this.
Oh well, we did have a poll, right? We did have one poll.
Yes, we did have one poll.
Okay.
Go ahead, a question about Harrison Bader. Does anybody got it posted?
Whoever has it. Yeah, whoever has it.
Oh, yeah, it was about the home run question, right? Right, Danny?
Yeah. And by the way, the ladies of Yankees Twitter absolutely love Harrison Bader. It is like we posted a picture of his glove, and we had more ladies saying like, "Oh my God, Harrison's my husband," and I was like, "Oh wow, all right, I guess that's how you guys feel." I know Allie listens to us, so maybe she should move from Boyd to Harrison Bader. Hop on that bandwagon.
Nah,
she's gonna block you, sir.
She's all about that voice train. That poor guy.
She's gonna send you a message. She's gonna get you.
Yeah, come back to the Yankees. Harrison Bader's got it apparently. I don't know.
It's that youth movement. All right. So the question was this that was posted: Will Bader hit 20 homers this year? 77% of people said hell yeah. 23% said just short. And someone, Nick Barish, replied back saying that he only thinks he gets 18.
I guess I'm in the minority where I think he hits more than 20. So I'm gonna buy high.
We hope you're right, though.
I'm gonna buy high.
Go
We hope
ahead.
you're right.
You know, if you're right, hell yeah.
I would love a 2020 season from Harrison Bader.
I mean, if
I
I'm
would
right
love it. Do I
about
think it's gonna
this,
That'd be
happen?
awesome. That would be awesome.
man,
Yeah.
That would be awesome right there.
I've never been right on a season.
It would
prediction
legitimately be
for
his, it'd be his
anything.
best season if he did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at
There's
which point the
potential
Angels
to
be
do
like,
it.
"Sorry, dude, we just gotta let you go." And speaking of letting it go, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Thank you for everybody tuning in. If you did, shout out to our new 200 followers on Twitter in the last 48 hours. Welcome aboard. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Hola.
To everyone listening across the pond internationally, we thank you. Keep those numbers jumping up. We jumped the charts in the UK from 5th to 4th, so we're making it pop overseas. Everybody here at home, tune in every Thursday night, 9:00. Unless something major happens, then we'll bring it to you maybe a little bit earlier, or if we have a special guest. So for Manny behind the scenes, Danny, Alex, and Mark, David, Bronx Muchachos, signing off.